Hello, on this video what we are going to see is about enabling this pagination. At this moment there is no equivalent component in TMS Web Core, probably will be in the future, but I think it's a nice exercise to see how we can actually transform this on a dynamic area and what code is involved in order to make this work. Okay. So first thing first, what we are going to do is to modify our template so we can access those elements. Okay, this is the pagination container. Okay, this is that block that I was showing before. So I'm going to make several modifications so I can access this directly from the form designer. Okay. Also, this is also needed for the previous and the next page. Okay, the first thing is to add the IDs needed. Okay, I'm going to call this LB first. Okay, I'm going to remove this class because that will be done dynamically. Okay, in order to mark what is the current page. Then I'm going also to add here another ellipsis here, and then I'm going to add here another one so we have more labels in order to show the space. So this one is going to be ID LB page 1, this one ID LB page 2, and this one LB page 3. Okay, we're going to name this one as the last page that we're going to show the first, last. So we have, the first page, the last page, and 3 pages, so we can move between the pages. Okay, and then these ones are going to be also ID LB previous and LB next. Okay, so now we see what, how the template looks. Okay, the previous, the next, the first page, the last page with the ellipses in between, and 3 pages, so we can click on any of them. Okay, so now what we need to do is to add all these labels. Okay, I'm going to be adding them. You can press Shift on the form designer, so it's the selection is sticky. Okay, so we are going to be adding here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think I need 6. Then to remove the sticky selection, just press here, and that's it. So let's start the naming. This is going to be LB previous. This is going to be LB next. This is going to be LB first. This is going to be LB page 1, LB page 2, LB page 3. Okay, so these are all the labels that we need. I think next first, page 1, and previous, and next. Oh, I think I'm missing LB last. I think I need another one. Okay, LB last. Okay, so now I'm going to be setting them. Okay, this one LB previous. I'm going to set the element ID. LB previous. Okay, set here. Then the next, I'm going to move this element ID LB next. Then the first one LB first. page 1, page 2, page 3, and the last one. Okay, test. Okay. So now I'm going to be changing the captions. This is previews. This one, first one, I'm going just to change the caption to 1. It's going to be 2, 3, 4, until 9, no, 10. These captions are going to be updated dynamically, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so we have been mapping this area to actual controls. Okay, so let's see now what we need to do, and I'm going to add some code that we need to specify what is the current record and the number of records that I have. So the first thing I'm going to do is a procedure that is going to be name update record count, Shift Control C, and I get this code. Okay, so here what I'm going to have a variable here. It is going to be name record count integer. Okay, and the goal is to, even the dataset is filtered, I'm going to iterate through the dataset in order to get how many records I have. Okay, so the first thing is to set it to 0. Then I'm going to add a try here. The first thing is to get get first, into add a while, and while not jobs job to begin. What I'm going to do is to increment the record count. Okay, and then move the dataset to the next record. Okay, so this way, once I reach the end of the dataset, I will get how many records there are. And finally, what I'm going to do is to move the dataset to the first record, and then I'm going also to populate the table, so it's updated every time I update the record count. I'm going to populate the table to get it updated. Okay, so now I need to add another property which is called record number. So I get what is the current record I have or is pointing, so I can move back and forth through the dataset. Okay, property, I'm going to use this one. Okay, I'm going to name it no, and the type is going to be integer. Okay, and now what I can do is simply Shift Control C. Okay, and that's it. I'm going to be or to have a field for it also. It's going to be no integer, and when getting the property right now, and then for setting the record number, I'm going to just move the dataset to the specified record number by value. Okay, now we start with the first one. I'll try finally. I'm going to move the dataset to the first record. Okay, what I do is not jobs health. I'm going to be adding like no value and break. So if we are reaching the value, okay, just simply break the loop, and if not, we are incrementing the record number. Okay. Okay, so we are moving. Okay, and finally what we do again is to populate the table again. Okay, so let's see, what else do we need? So now what we need to do when the button, the filter button is clicked, apart from what we are doing, okay, is to update the record count. Okay, okay, and also we move the rec number. We are going to move it to, or to set it to the first one. Okay, we update the record count, and this operation will also update the table, will populate the table, so there is no need to call it again. Okay. So now we need to add a bit more logic to the populate table method in order to make that pager come to life. Okay. So here what we are going to do is to add several variables in order to make all the calculations that we need. One is the page. Another is the last page. Okay. So now what we are going to do here is the current page. It's going to be based on record number divided by 10 plus 1. Okay, that is going to be the current page that we are in. We are going also to update the caption of the found label with the total number of records. So anytime we can show that. Format, we are going to format, and we are going to add h2. We found jobs. Close record count. Okay. Okay, so we have that, and then we are going also to calculate what is the last page. Last page is going to be math ceiling record count divided by 10. Okay, I think we need to add to the uses the math unit. Okay, so I'm going just to copy and paste some of the existing code I already have written in order to save you some board code. In any case, as you remember, we remove the classes from all the labels that we were using here that mark what is the current page. Okay, so what we need to do is to add logic in order to set what is the current page and what are the captions for all that. So and even what pages are visible or not. So I'm going just to copy and paste that code, so you don't have to be bored about that amount of code. Okay, and then I'm going to explain. Okay, so basically what I do here is to remove all the element class name from the labels, so I start fresh every time I populate the table. I also hide the labels because, you know, if there are less than one page of records, those labels shouldn't be shown. And then depending on how many pages and so on, I set some logic in order to make them visible or not. And then depending on the page, what I do is to set what is the current page and what are the captions for them. Okay, there are several logics. If there is the last one, the first one, and so on. Okay. Hopefully at some point we have a component that wraps all this functionality into a component. Okay. So now let's run and let's see how this works. Okay. I think I'm not updating properly the total number of records. I think I have forgot to call it after the dataset is open. So let's see how this goes. Okay, so after the dataset is open, I'm going to call after open. I'm going to call the update record count, and that will also populate the table. Let's see now. Okay, now it works. We have 312 jobs. Okay, so now it's a matter to enable these labels in order to work. Okay, so let's see how that can be done. First, we're going to make work the next label, and in order to do that, let's check here. So every time that label is clicked, what we are going to do is, if the record number is less than record count minus 10, which is the size of the page, then begin. What we are going to do is the current record, we are going to move it by 10. Okay, so again, let's try it. Okay, this is the current page as expected, and I click next, moving to the next page. As you can see, the table is advancing properly, okay, page by page, and this calculation is also performed properly. Okay, previews, well, previews is not yet implemented. Okay, 5, 6. Okay, we are going to implement the previews. The previews is here. So again, when that is clicked, what we need to do is, if the current record is more than 10, which is the size of the page, then begin, we are going to set it to rec now minus 10. Otherwise, we are going to set it to the first one. Okay, so again, let's see how this works. So we can go to the next page, which is number 2, and then we can go to the previous page, which is number 1, and so on. Okay, so we are moving through the data set properly. Okay, so now it's about these ones, how they have to work. What we are going to do is to assign the on-click event for any of them to the same event handler, and we are going to jump to the right page based on the caption of the button. Okay, that will save us a lot of code. So let's move here, let's go to the design time, and we are going to select all of these instances and generate the event handler. Okay, and then we are going to get what is the page that we try to jump on. I'm going to have a variable here, page is going to be in depth based on the sender as the web label. We're going to get the caption, and we are going to have a default value of 1 just in case there is some issue. And now what we need to do is to set the record number to the page -1 plus 10 multiplied by 10 plus 1. Okay, so let's see how this works. So now if I click on the page number 3, okay, moving to the number 3, and then to the 1, to the 4, etc. Okay, so this is working as expected. And that's it. This is how you make a pager, and also this should work with if I make some filtering. Okay, we found 5 jobs. Okay, we have only 1 page, and that's it. Okay, but if I try to find engineer, there are 137 jobs, and I get all these pages. Okay, so that's it. I hope you like it, and thank you.